in the Palos Verdes Art Center, it might look a little bit different. We're going to talk about that. I am joined by Bob Yassin, who is the Executive Director of the Art Center. Bob, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm always glad to show off the place.
Good. We love that. We love to talk about art. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here and what's going on.
This is a show that we've been doing for many years called Off the Wall.
Okay.
It's an opportunity for local artists in the general area to rent space, basically, to show their art. And it goes from sublime to everything. There's everything you think of in the show. With lots of things going on. But it's a very good display for the public to see all kinds of new techniques that are going on. For example, the picture right behind us, this is a digital print.
Okay.
It's taken probably from a single photograph drawing and then cut up and remounted to put the picture together. We have all the traditional media here as well, oil painting, sculpture, drawing, beautiful piece of red sculpture behind us and the like, traditional drawing. It's an opportunity to see a lot of what's going on.
Now, how do you know, how do you decide what you're going to select to
Well,
put?
for this show, we don't select anything. People bring them, we ask them to bring their best work because we want to keep the quality up.
Right.
And for this show, that's how that's been selected. Generally, for an open show like this, we have a juror or sometimes two jurors come in that will make a selection of the best things for the show. But this one's an open-ended so that people can get a chance to get their work exposed. The other thing that it does is a lot of people in this exhibition, or many people in this exhibition, are still student artists.
Okay.
And it gives them a chance to see their work in the context of other more trained artists. It's kind of like playing tennis. You get better if you play with someone better than you.
Exactly.
And that way they can see how well they're doing and all that by comparison. I think that's a very vital part of an exhibition like this.
Okay.
It's also, I have to confess, a little opportunity for us to make a few dollars for our exhibition program.
Yep.
So it helps to do that as well. Yeah. But as you can see, just looking from this first gallery, it goes from one end to the other. It's an amazing variety of things to look at.
I was just going to say,
something for every taste and every color.
It's very different.
We've got beautiful jewelry.
Beautiful jewelry.
We've got wonderful art paintings. We've got drawings. This beautiful sketchbook that one of our artists teachers has done.
Now, do you have a lot of repeat artists that?
Oh yes, we do.
All the time?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You know, we are a local resource.
Absolutely.
When I say local, it's South Bay and the greater South Bay area, and that's what we focus on. So it's people, local people. You can see from the subject matter, a lot of these pictures, you see a lot of scenes that are very familiar.
I was going to say that, of course, we couldn't be in the South Bay without seeing ocean and some beautiful water pictures, which are gorgeous. Look at this one.
Yeah, it's fabulous paintings, yeah.
It really is.
Now, I should also add, it would be wrong for me not to add, that most of the work in the show is for sale.
Okay.
And it's a fabulous opportunity for people to acquire art for their home at incredibly reasonable prices.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really wonderful reasonable prices.
And, of course, make great gifts as well.
Great gifts,
into
absolutely.
The holiday season.
Yeah, perfect timing for that. Exactly.
Really nice.
We have a couple of sleepers in the show. These two big landscape paintings. These are not by living artists. These have actually been consigned by people who collect what is well known as California plein air painting, historic plein air painting. This is a painting by William Ritchell, who's a very famous historic artist, probably painted around 1919 and 1920.
Okay.
And I'm not sure the others, but that's a view of the mountain up near Palm Springs. But these are well collected artists in the state, and they add to the show, but when you look adjacent to them, we have other plein air artists by living artists. Pretty good stuff, too.
Pretty great stuff.
They hold their own very well.
Really beautiful. Now, Bob, we have to talk about where we are because we're not in the Palos Verdes Art Center. We're in the mall here.
We're in the mall at the Promenade, and we're here temporarily while the Palos Verdes Art Center
is
being redone. This is a model of what the Art Center is going to look like when the construction is completed.
Okay.
We are actually redeveloping what was already there, so the basic footprint is what has always been there, but what has changed is everything.
Right.
We're adding space for storage that we vitally needed. We're bringing it all up to code in terms of being handicapped accessible, which it hasn't been. The first buildings for the Art Center were built in 1971.
Okay. The
second group of buildings was built in 1982, and that's what we've been living with ever since, with sort of space modification. We'll be adding, at this point, a fully operated glass studio. We'll be able to make any and all kinds of glass in any size. That's something we don't have now. We've already added a digital lab, which we've brought back here, and we're going to do a tremendous change to our outside patio, which was used for all kinds of public events as well as art center events. This will get a new cover. We've taken down the internal support, so we'll have about 4,400 square feet of unencumbered space with beautiful lights. We'll see some pictures of what it's going to look like.
Exactly.
It will be partially open, but it'll also be closable so that we can heat and cool it.
And it'll hold a lot more people.
We can sit 400 people for dinner.
400.
And we have a new catering kitchen that we're going to be working on.
Okay, great.
And so we can do that. And it's all kinds of other things that we can do that we can't do now. The outside space will allow us to do, say, music programs. We're going to do film programs again, which we haven't done for a while.
Okay.
Or special events, like someone said, well, we can do teach people how to tango and have an Argentinian dinner all at the same time.
Great.
Dinner and a dance, as well as dinner and a show. The old building was made out of slump block and had kind of a quasi-craftsman look to it with beams sticking. That's all going to disappear, and the new building will be very, very modern looking and covered with metal skin made of copper-colored anodized aluminum. The color's like an old penny. It'll be very, very beautiful, so you won't see anything else. And then all that overgrown landscape will disappear
Great.
to something much more open and efficient, so you can be able to see the facility. All the galleries inside, the interior space, are going to be completely renovated too, so we'll have great space.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, we're very fortunate that this space was available. If you look around,
Absolutely.
it's hard to believe there used to be a Borders bookstore.
Right, not anymore.
Yes,
Now
not
it's a
anymore.
beautiful
We've got
art
it all
center.
cleaned up, and we've been able to build some walls, and it's worked out very, very well for us for our space. My staff is doing their share of supporting Starbucks here.
Okay.
Which is right down below.
That's always good. You know,
Yeah,
we
come this
believe
way.
in local. Yeah, let's go.
This is made out of a single chunk of cherry wood.
Look at this. This is gorgeous.
This is wood, not ceramic.
Beautiful.
Turned on a lathe and made into this beautiful, beautiful bowl. I mean, this is totally unique and fabulous piece. This artist is pretty quite wonderful, and you know,
Such
this
unique
is-
pieces as
It's a
well.
very wonderful buy. All these are very, very nice. As I said, we do frequently show student work, but some of our students get to be very, very good. This is Jen Napolitan. Jen Napolitan was a gym teacher for many years, and she became a ceramic artist by, just for fun. And now she's a very well-known ceramic artist. She's
Very
very, very
nice.
well-known. Her work is much collected and sought everywhere. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bowl.
Look at
Gorgeous,
that.
look at that, gorgeous. Our former chairman and president, Don Crocker, after a very successful career as an attorney, I guess in 1984 took a painting class here. He's now a full-time plein air artist and very successful. Very successful. His work is widely collected. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
he keeps him very busy.
Yeah, you're keeping a lot of people very busy in
We
here.
do, we do. And as you'll see, we'll poke into one of our
Okay,
classes.
let's do that. Yeah, and I want to talk about that too because you have so many ongoing classes here.
We do.
Yeah.
Last year we did 220 different classes,
Ooh.
1,800 class visits. It's a really busy place.
Yeah,
And
very.
of course we do great projects with the school kids and art at your fingertips. We have been the art department basically for the Palos Verdes youth K through 5 for the last 36 years.
Wow.
When Prop 13 kicked art out of the grade schools, we jumped in to take care of that. So all 7,000 students get 5 art projects here prepared by our people here, taught to the parents, brought into the school. They have a great time. We have a big show of their work in May,
Okay.
along with the intermediate school and high school, which we work with too, so we get that done.
It's so important that children are allowed to express their creativity, you know?
Well, when the decision is made to cut back on art, it's obviously wrong
right,
with art.
the first to go, yeah.
All psychologists have clearly identified that hand-eye coordination and the kinds of things that decision-making that goes on in making art is very, very important.
Very important.
To intellectual development. Yeah, so
And I noticed in some of the classes, we'll take a peek back here, people of all ages in the classes.
all ages.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay, we're going to peek into one of the classes here. We don't want to interrupt, but
This class is taught by Mario Mirkovic, who's a very well-known painter of landscapes, traditional landscapes in Palos Verdes.
Okay.
And these are people learning how to paint like Mario. As you can see, they're copying a painting over there that he's done.
Beautiful.
And they're pretty good.
They're really good.
And
Look
they're
at
having a
that.
wonderful time.
and their
Wonderful.
ongoing classes are 4 to 6 weeks. How does it work? All
We
different?
do 4 quarters a year of classes, 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks. Classes meet once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on the class. At Christmas time, we do an art camp for kids. In the summertime, we do a very extensive 6-week art camp for children, which is very successful. We've been doing this for many, many years now.
It's great.
And,
Okay.
the exhibition on the outside walls here, these are works by our faculty.
Oh, okay.
The people that teach for us. This is a painting by Mario, who's teaching that class.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, very, very nice pictures here.
That's gorgeous. And this is by a PV teacher, is that right?
This, an artist that teaches here, teaches classes with us. This is
Look at that.
Christy Jimenez. She both paints and does nice photography too.
Beautiful.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah. Of course, this gives students an opportunity to see what the teachers do.
Sure.
And see who they like to sign up for. So
Now,
we'll
but
have-
where did you get your love of art?
well, that's an interesting question. My mother was a sort of a Sunday painter.
Okay.
Pretty good painter, actually. And I grew up in Boston, or just north of Boston, and I got taken as a small child to a lot of museums, particularly the Museum of Fine Arts.
It's a good city for it, for sure.
Yeah, I was a student in their Saturday morning classes for youngsters and the like. And when I got to college, I developed a fascination, not with making art, I'm not an artist, but with the history of art.
Okay.
Yeah, and I studied art history at Dartmouth, at Michigan, and Yale. And I taught art history for a while before getting into museum administration. So I've had a lifelong interest in art.
Great.
You know, our art, particularly historic art, unlike music or literature, you don't have to worry about dealing with meanings.
That's right.
We don't know what an 18th century symphony sounds like. We think we do.
Right.
And 18th century literature has to be interpreted. But, you know, you look at an 18th century painting, it's exactly the same thing that existed in the 18th century. And it defies you to tell you all about what's going on. So
Really?
I find that fascinating.
It is fascinating.
You know.
Okay, now these pictures right here, Bob, are the new building.
This is
Okay.
renderings of the new building. This is where it will look outside from the corner of Crenshaw and Crestridge.
Okay.
All that overgrown planting that's been there forever will disappear. This will have this beautiful copper color to it. Be able to see things very, very nicely. It's got a really beautiful, nice, modern look to it.
Gorgeous.
This is what the patio
interior.
is going to look like
Beautiful.
in back. You know, we think we'll do a fair amount of business with weddings and receptions and things like that. Yeah, I was thinking the other night we were at the chamber dinner. This would be a perfect place for the
Absolutely.
chamber.
You would, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Be another
Absolutely
great,
perfect.
great
Yeah.
space.
This doesn't show. What we're going to do is create a sort of stage area over here
Mm-hmm.
where we can do presentations, show films, lectures, music performances, and so on.
Very nice.
That's a view of what it will hopefully look like at night. Beautifully lighted up as you come up the hill. We think it's going to not only make a great difference to us, but it'll be a very attractive piece to have on Crenshaw at that point in the city. Yeah.
Well, as you can see, there's lots of things to see here at the Arts Center. Bob, thanks for being with us today and
thank you
showing
for
us
having me.
around.
My pleasure.
And
My
we'll
pleasure.
we'll be back,
Anytime.
of course, yes.
Good,
And for
good.
more information, you can always go to pvartcenter.org. I'm Maria Sorreo, and we'll see you next time around the Peninsula.